Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great today. We're going to be discussing 10 under the radar summer fragrances that are lesser known, but in my opinion, all of these are really good. If you're looking for a summer-based fragrance to keep you smelling unique, but also fresh and bright and citrusy, definitely stay tuned because I have a really nice list for you today. Begin today's video and I tell you about these 10 unique summer-based fragrances that you may not have heard about. These are really unique fragrances and a lot of them are lesser known, or they're not as hyped, or they're not as popular, and some of them are actually brand new releases, which lends to why they're so lesser known. I do want to start things off by mentioning that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit that bell icon so you could be notified every time I do upload videos to the channel. And of course, give this video a thumbs up. It would mean so much to me. Let's just go ahead and dive into the list. And the first one that I want to talk about is one that I will take credit for. I am the creative director for this one. And this is one of my favorite fragrances right around this time of the year. It's composed by Jorge Lee, who is an amazing perfumer out of Istanbul, Turkey. He's done fragrances for Nishane, Algabra, Unique Luxury, and many other brands. And this one by Navitus Parfum is called Away. This fragrance is coconut, lavender, lime, a bunch of citrus in the opening, this incense note in the base. It's a really complex fragrance and I love this one so much, especially if you're looking for something uniquely fresh, something that doesn't follow any other models or doesn't do something that another fragrance has already done. Really, the interplay and the combination of ingredients for this one is 100% to my satisfaction. I was so impressed with what the perfumer submitted for this fragrance, and so Away by Navitus Parfum is one that I personally love to wear. Of course, there's also Burlington 1819 by Roja Parfum. The reason why you may not have heard about this one is because not only is it kind of hard to find, it's also really expensive. Now, this fragrance has grapefruit, it's very bright and animated, and it has this really unique vibe about it. It's a little bit on the sweeter side of things, especially once it dries down, but that bright, citrusy, volatile grapefruit note that you're going to get in the opening is really just exceptionally well done, and it keeps you smelling so bright and tart and fresh for the summertime. And so I personally love this one, as well as Elysium, Oceania, and A Midsummer Dream, I would say, for the summertime, although I find A Midsummer Dream to be a little bit more versatile, but Burlington 1819 is amazing. Another fragrance you may not have heard about that I think does smell unique, although I would compare this one a little bit to Bleu de Chanel by Chanel. This one is called Compliment for Him by Encounter Scents. While it does smell a little bit similar to Bleu de Chanel, it's really more so the vibe that this fragrance gives across. Clean cut, very elegant, professional, office-friendly type of a fragrance, and it doesn't smell like one specific other designer fragrance that I've tried. And so if you're looking for something that'll make you stand out, something that is not worn by hundreds if not thousands of other people, I would definitely look into this one. This is Compliment for Him. Seduction for Him is also really good, but this is the more summer-oriented DNA and the fragrance that the brand has to offer. Now, this next fragrance will definitely leave you smelling unique. I think this fragrance might have been discontinued, or it's on its way to being discontinued if I'm not mistaken, and I hope that's not the case because I really love this one. This one by Ramon Monegal is called #Café del Mar, and this is from the Ibiza collection. This fragrance has apple, seaweed, a coffee note in there, ambergris in the base if I'm remembering correctly. So it's like a warm, coffee, slightly fruity, salty fragrance. And that saltiness is really what puts me in the mindset of summer. So I personally love this one. Definitely one of the more unique offerings from the brand. But to be honest with you, pretty much everything the brand has put out has been really unique. So I personally love this one, and it's also made one of my lists in the past. So if you've heard of it before, chances are it's from one of my lists if you have indeed watched my channel for some time. This one by Moresque is called Fiore di Portofino. This is an amazing citrus and basil fragrance. You guys know I do like my aromatic fragrances, whether we're talking about basil or thyme or whatever. And I love fragrances like Ege by Nishane, although I'm kind of starting to retire that one from lists, not from my personal wearing. I'm still going to be wearing it a tremendous amount. But this one is a great change of pace for me to also get something that smells incredibly fresh, very unique, but also aromatic at the same time. Hermetica Green Lion is another fragrance that is both citrusy and aromatic, but this one is amazing. There's also Wild Neroli by Orientica. This is from the Le Motif collection. This is a brighter and I think more enduring version of Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford. So the fragrance itself is a twist, so it's very similar to the original, although the DNA has been tweaked a little bit. If you're looking for something that is on the affordable side of things and something that lasts a very long time, if you're a fan of Neroli, you don't want to wear Neroli Portofino, you want to wear something that is a little bit brighter, I would say, and a little bit longer lasting, definitely check this fragrance out. The next one that I want to talk about might be discontinued. To be honest with you, I haven't really checked up on it because this brand seems to release and discontinue, release and discontinue. And the brand, of course, is Zara. This fragrance is called Floating Around. I think this is a lavender-based fragrance. I've seen some people online compare it to Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. For me, when I first smelled it, I thought I got a little bit of like a Le Male by Jean Paul Gaultier vibe, and that fragrance does indeed contain lavender. So it's kind of like a fresher version of Le Male, if you can imagine that, without going the Fleur de Mal route. So this one is a very bright, citrusy lavender fragrance, as is the #1 fragrance on this list, but I'm gonna hold off on that until we get to it. The #3 spot goes to San Lucas by Michael Malul, part of the Couture line. This fragrance is also very bright and citrusy, and there's this apple leaf note in here as well. So it's a little fresh, it's a little fruity, and although I've smelled a lot of other fragrances bearing similar note breakdowns or containing ingredients that are also found in this, the way that the brand has managed to piece these ingredients together is something that's done really, really well. And I really like the freshness of this. My wife loves this, not just smelling it on me, but she loves wearing this one as well. And so I'm personally really liking this one, and I put it on my shelf for the past month, but I actually am looking forward to wearing this one now as it starts to get a little bit warmer out, because I think summertime is really when this one is going to shine its brightest and at its best. And so this one is called San Lucas. The fragrance in my #2 spot is definitely my introduction to this brand. This one by Floral Street is called Arizona Bloom. This fragrance was composed by Jerome Epinette, who has done tons of fragrances for Atelier Cologne, Byredo. Very accomplished perfumer. I've had the pleasure of meeting him in person a couple of times. And this fragrance is a salty coconut fragrance with, I think if I'm remembering correctly, an ambergris dry down and a note of fig leaf. So this fragrance is very smooth and creamy and tropical. It also has, I forget if it's cashmere wood or cashmeran. It has one of those notes in there, so it's very creamy and smooth and velvety while also being slightly fruity and tropical and salty. And so this one is very, very good. This one does remind me of another fragrance, and I kind of want to mention it on camera, but I'm also holding off on doing a review of this fragrance very soon, and so I'm going to make the comparison in that video. But this is an awesome fragrance. If you have a chance to try it, or if you know of any place near you that is carrying it, definitely pop in and see if you can sample it, because I think it's exceptional. And the fragrance that I put in my #1 spot is a fragrance that I've already put a sizable dent into. I wore it at my cousin's wedding, which was a couple of weekends ago, and this thing, the performance is amazing. It's bright, it's refreshing, it has the citrus, it has lavender. It's really, really classy. It's aromatic at certain times as well. For me, it's kind of like, and I know this is going to sound a little bit strange because this description in and of itself really doesn't do this fragrance justice, but it's kind of like Parfum de Marly Percival meets Dior Sauvage. So imagine the brightness, the freshness, that lemony appeal, minus the metallic sensation of Dior Sauvage, meets the equally good complement factor and classy lavender of Percival by Parfum de Marly. This is exceptional. This fragrance by Kajal is called Faris. Now the name, I believe it's Arabic, it translates to night, K-N-I-G-H-T, and this is amazing, amazing, amazing. This is the biggest compliment getter from the brand, right next to Lamar probably, but this is about 3 or 4 times more versatile than Lamar. And the reason I say that is because Lamar is a rose-based fragrance that actually has a few different types of rose ingredients in there. And so that might in some ways be an acquired taste, because if you're not a fan of floral fragrances or if you're not a fan of rose, you're going to probably opt for something else under the Kajal brand. This with the citrus, the lavender, it's so classy, it's so refreshing, but it's so versatile and so professional smelling. This is 100% hands down such a unique summer-based fragrance and one of the best that the brand has ever put out. And I actually have quite a number of them. I have Kajal I have Dahab, I have Lamar, I have, you know, probably half a dozen fragrances from the brand, and I've tried everything the brand has put out. And in my honest opinion, this is one of the best. I hope you have a chance to try it. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, give it a thumbs up. These have been my 10 unique summer fragrances that will keep you smelling unique and original, and they are kind of on the underrated side of things, although I really do see this fragrance blowing up, and for very good reason. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.